Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle, and today I'm going to be talking about LGBTQ+ and the homeschooling community. And this is something, honestly, I've been thinking about for a while. So every year for the month of June, Pride Month, I do share resources both for myself and what I use with my kids to both celebrate but also learn about Pride. And I got a comment in a previous video, and I've been thinking about it for a really long time now, and it was someone who identifies as in the LGBTQ+ community, and how they appreciate the video and have been, they feel kind of ostracized in the homeschooling community, especially when it comes to curriculum. And again, this is me and my privilege showing here that I've never really put a lot of thought into the discrimination that exists within the homeschooling curriculum. And I've definitely been more mindful of it since that comment, and I appreciate the person making that comment, of really looking into different curriculum companies' stances on the LGBTQ+ community. And I think there's obvious ones. Most Christian-based curriculum, unfortunately, is usually very anti-LGBTQ+, which it does pain me because I am a Christian, and I don't like that Christians are associated with anti-LGBTQ+. Not all Christians are like that. My husband is an ordained pastor. He performs ceremonies, weddings for same-sex couples. He has no issues with any of that. One of the local churches, our Presbyterian church in town, hosts the local chapter of PFLAG and has pride flags flown in their church. So please never assume that all Christians are like that, because it isn't that way, and it really does hurt me to see people use God's word in harm to other people. But like I said, the majority of faith-based curriculum I refuse to even touch because of their stance on it. I mean, the big ones are obvious. Abeka, BJU, Apologia, all these not only have the stance in their values, if you look at their statement of faiths, but also within their curriculum they have anti-LGBTQ in there. And even the Good and Beautiful, I know that's a big one too. If you've ever read their maturation and sexual reproduction unit, it's ridiculous. And I feel bad for the people that choose to use that kind of resource and the bigotry that is in that resource. But that's how popular it is. And I'm not sure if it's people just not caring, because I've noticed that people tend not to even look at, the credentials of people writing the curriculum, or if they're, have any experience with this area to write about it, that expecting people to actually look at statement of faiths and dig deeper into what the core values of the people you are buying things from. And I've definitely made mistakes in the past. I'm not saying, you should only buy this curriculum, but really be mindful of who you're supporting and what those companies or those creators, homeschool creators that make curriculum, are putting out there, and what you're choosing to support with your money, with your time. Because I've come to a point where I'm not willing to cross that line. I'm not willing to support companies that don't agree with a core foundation of who I am, that everybody is worthy of respect, love, and acceptance. So that is one area that has really bothered me. And there are, of course, especially within the secular community, a lot of curriculum coming out that is very inclusive, that is very LGBTQ+ friendly, which I absolutely love, and I so appreciate it. We used Mint and Bloom's Power of the People this past year, which really touched on those different subjects. So it's not like all of the homeschooling community curriculum is biased and against this group of people, but there's a really large chunk of it, and I feel like it's not being talked about, and it makes me disappointed that nobody's really talking about it. And the other thing that really kind of sparked this video is that, especially on this platform, YouTube, I don't do Instagram, so I can't speak to that platform, but as content creators, as homeschool content creators, it's not that LGBTQ+ or Pride Month I don't expect everybody to be talking about it or accepting it, but there just isn't even an acknowledgement of its existence. And I think we see things like, this is what I'm doing for Women's History Month or African American history, or I'm doing this Advent unit study. Great resources. But nobody's talking about Pride Month. And if they are, it's usually really in a negative space. I remember watching a while back a homeschool YouTuber talking about how they don't know what this world is coming to, and I think they were referring to furries. And again, no issues with furries. And that, what is the world coming to? And they were bawling on this video, and that they felt discriminated now as a white, Christian, heterosexual, married woman. I'm sorry, but how far up your own ass do you have to be to think that's the group that's being discriminated against? No. And it's the praise that this person got in their comment section. I don't understand why we're praising people for acting that way. And that we're not talking about the lack of representation. People always talk about, homeschooling YouTube and all that. It's so great to see so much diversity and different, how everybody does it. But are we really seeing that diversity? Are we seeing anybody talking about the LGBTQ plus community or Pride Month in any positive way? Please, if there are others, let me know, because I would love to actually connect with people that this is a concern and they talk about it, because everything I've seen has been negative. In fact, there was last year, the beginning of June, Pride Month, a group of homeschoolers created a group that, of course, you could pay to be members of. And it was a Christian-based group. But again, I'm not against Christians or Christianity. I am one myself. I'm just against Christians that exclude others. So this group claims that all are welcome, that it's a Christian-based thing, so be mindful of that. But if you look at their statement of faith as well, in there, that they clearly state that they think that marriage is between a man and a woman, and they believe in traditional family values. Why? Why are we supporting these people? There's a lot of homeschool YouTubers, they're pretty popular, that are on that platform. I don't understand why we're supporting people who are against others. And I really do try to understand. When I don't understand something, I really try to get a different perspective to really understand why this is an issue with people. And I can understand on YouTube some people being anti-LGBTQ+. I can understand. I mean, there's blatantly people out there sharing their opinions and making fun of, wokeness and pride. I can see that those people exist. But I can also see people who choose not to talk about it because they're more concerned about subscribers or their name or their brand. And that's just unfortunate. And I think my channel has never been about subscribers or likes. I could care less if you do those things. My platform is about helping people and hopefully giving you some resources to learn more. And this is what I want my channel to be. I'm never going to hold back my opinions and thoughts in fear of what others think of me. Now I have to say, of all the videos I have made on my channel, and I've done this for a few years now, the biggest issue people have with me, and the most negative comments I've had, are my support of LGBTQ+ people. In fact, last year, when I posted my normal June Pride Month video, I lost 25 subscribers in an hour, which again, care less. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But I think it's an interesting correlation, especially since I'm very open on my channel, so I don't know why people are surprised when June comes along and it's like, oh, she supports this group of people. Oh my gosh. It's like, have you watched any of my videos? So I think that's interesting that people, jump ship. Obviously, they don't know who I am, but I think that's a telling sign of this community that there's a lot of rooted discrimination within it. And that saddens me. And, I was reading a couple months ago, and I'll link up above, because I share what I read every month. It was White Supremacy and Me. And one of the things talked about in this book was white silence. And the idea that, it doesn't affect you, so you don't feel like you need to say anything, or it had, that's them, not me type mentality. And even Martin Luther King Jr. talked about this in his letter, Birmingham jail, about the people that stand by and watch and don't say anything and don't do anything. I don't want to be those people. And, I was hesitant to make this video, not because I care about the negativity or any of that, but because I don't feel like I'm a representation of that community. I'm not a person that feels like they should be speaking for that community. I don't want to be another white person trying to voice my opinion about a group of people. There's so much of that already, so much of it. I mean, look at the history curriculums we have. You can barely get any perspective, let alone someone talking about LGBTQ+. It is changing though. I've come across some curriculum. But that's my point, that this issue is just being ignored. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know if people are just in that pot of it doesn't affect me, so I don't really care. But even if you're not in a group of people, you still have effect on how that group is perceived, how that group is treated, how laws are formed around that group and their body and what bathroom they can use. So even if you don't identify within that group, you still have effects on how that group is treated. And that's why I think educating ourselves about different people is important, especially when we're talking about homeschooling, where it's very easy to bubble ourselves out into little communities of we all believe this, or like that homeschooling community I already referenced online. It's easy to group ourselves into we don't have to face people we don't want to be around or don't agree with, or we can only be with like-minded people. What are we learning from that? It's very easy to hate or to not understand or to be fearful of someone or a group of people. If you have no experience with that group, if you are given the idea that even if it's not, framed around negative, and this was very much my upbringing, that, being gay was okay for other people. Being transgender was okay for other people, but not in my house. That's not what we do. And I think that is kind of what I'm seeing in the homeschooling community among those who feel that way, that I'm not a bigot. That's just not how we do things in my house. That's discrimination. Teaching our kids that just by not having them exposed to different types of people is teaching them that those people aren't normal. That not allowing kids to read books about transgender children or gay children or anything on that spectrum is telling them that this isn't okay. So even if you're not verbally up there screaming about it, you're still giving that perception to your children. And when we choose curriculum that has that embedded in it, we're just pushing that more. And it makes me really sad that I really want this community to be one of acceptance for everybody, even those who don't agree with it. But what really, I guess, frustrates me with this community is the lack of even acknowledgement. I don't expect you all to come up here, flying your pride flag, but at least acknowledgement that this group of people exists. Maybe acknowledging that the curriculum we're choosing or looking into isn't supporting all groups of people. And some people, that's exactly what they want. Especially in the homeschooling community. It's pretty up there. But I want to use this platform as support, as a place of acceptance and love for all people. So I will gladly post my, videos supporting LGBTQ+, just like I post other videos talking about different things. And again, I'm no expert. I've made mistakes. I've purchased some of that curriculum I said that was anti-LGBTQ+. And I think once you realize and make that decision, looking forward, you can make different choices. You can beat yourself up about what you did, or what you said, or what you purchased and supported with your money. But you can make a choice to move forward and make a different choice. Because I don't expect the world to be perfect. I don't expect homeschooling to be perfect. But I think we can make it better for everybody. And that means including everybody. Meaning we have inclusive content. That we're giving our children the opportunities to see people as people. So that is what I decided to talk about for Pride Month for June, because like I said, it's something I've been aware of, something that I've been concerned about, something I want to bring to light. So happy Pride Month to all of you out there, and thank you for watching.